Hey everybody, welcome to PC Perspective. I am Ryan Schrout, joined by surprise guest at the PC Perspective offices, Sebastian Peak. Hey, welcome. Hey, over here. Hey. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
So we thought Sebastian was in town doing some random crap. We'd sit him down and make him do some work. First up is we're going to talk about a case here, this thing that is sitting here in front of us. This is the SilverStone FT05.
Yep, it's
chassis.
the Fortress FT05. It's the 5th generation Fortress case from SilverStone.
So it's interesting. This case is, to me, it doesn't look like a traditional what I think of when I think of a SilverStone case. It's very boxy, very angular, and I'm very much more, I more associate SilverStone's name with the Raven series. It's kind of more interesting design cues, I guess. But you also posted a review of the RV05, and this is a very similar case to the RV05 in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's almost identical. Mainly exterior, the appearance is a lot different on the Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
But inside the case, the actual chassis is identical.
So let's start there. Actually, the kind of the big thing that SilverStone does with their cases is they rotate the inside of a case 90 degrees. So you have which direction? We got the display connections up top. Is that where we have
right,
here?
all the I/O is up top, as well as any exhaust fan.
So you can kind of see in the window there as well. You have an MSI 290X Lightning installed in there, and you can see, if you can look in those pictures, it's directional. You know, it's actually pointed up, right?
Right, they call it the stacked cooling effect.
Right.
So the lower intake fans are always pulling air
Yeah, these
up
from kind
and
of
then,
down in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start at the basics, I guess, then. Full-size ATX cases, or motherboards rather, but not eATX or anything like that. You're looking at an ATX case.
Correct.
Right? And also, I like the front of it is very clean. Like, there's no optical drive bays. Are there optical drive bays optional in this case? Is it?
Optional, but it's only a slim optical drive, and it has to be a slot load drive.
Oh, really? Okay. So it
On
doesn't
the
take a
front
5.5.
case detail right there, that's actually a removable cover
Oh, okay.
for a slot
okay.
load optical drive.
Okay. Interesting. So that's actually just kind of like a rubberized plug right there.
Right, and this plastic bracket comes pre-installed in the case, and you can mount an optical drive to this, and then it attaches behind the motherboard.
So if we take off the door of the case, for example, either in our photos here or on the table, you've got two giant fans at the bottom. What size are those fans?
180 millimeter.
We got a pair of those, and they're drawing air in from the sides.
Right.
It's kind of a little restrictive in the air draw, though, isn't it?
It could be. I think to mitigate any additional air noise, they have placed like a dampening foam under
Kind
the
of
case.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've done that in a couple of other places, too, on the inside of the doors. But nothing really up top,
Nothing at all up top.
right? Or on the front.
The inside of the front is fully insulated.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Right. The back panel and the front panel are fully insulated. There's a little bit of insulation behind the back under where your power supply will go.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of insulation around the window as well. The non-windowed version has the same full insulation behind the door panel.
Okay. In terms of capability that you have here, how many hard drives, how many SSDs, like 3.5-inch, 2.5-inch bays does this support?
That's where this is the most restrictive, and like the new Raven case, this only supports 2 of each.
Okay.
It supports 2 3.5-inch hard drives through this removable plastic bracket,
Okay.
and that attaches down below the power supply, and then it can support 2 2.5-inch drives behind the motherboard tray.
Actually, on this side of it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's pretty limited for storage.
That's fairly limited. I do kind of believe I'm on the side that most consumers, that's probably enough. In terms of multi-GPU support, this will support 3-card
Yes.
SLI, but not 4.
No.
Right. It's not going to support that, I guess. Any kind of implications or differences when you're building inside of a chassis that is rotated 90 degrees like this one is?
It's not any harder to build in, especially if you lay the case flat.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a 1 build restriction with the case as it ships, since there's only one 120 millimeter fan opening available out of the box.
Right. Up top, up here, right?
Yep, just up top, which would normally be your rear, exhaust fan mount. Because of those air penetrator fans at the bottom, the dual 180 millimeter fans, there is no room for any 240, 280, 360 radiators. So the double wide radiators are supported, but you have to remove those big intake fans first.
Okay, okay. Because I think we actually talked about that when we were talking about like out of the box when you buy it, there is no exhaust fan up top.
Correct.
Right? You've got these two kind of big intake fans at the bottom, and depending on your graphics card, that could be really beneficial or not incredibly beneficial because of the card we have in here is kind of it's not a blower style, it's just kind of a dispersion style cooler. It seems odd to not have something included that helps draw the heat and the hot air up and out. But again, if the assumption is that a user who buys a case like this and is installing a system in it, you're going to get an H75 or H80 or something like that will install up in that, and then you will have some type of exhaust out the top anyway.
Right, it's consistent with not just the current Raven, but the Fortress FT02, the second generation Fortress case. Very similar to this. This almost looks like a cut-off FT02.
Right.
That one had the optical base support, but that one as well, only one 120 exhaust fan at the top. It's because of their 90-degree orientation here.
We've got your front panel connections up here. You've got two USB 3.0 ports, your audio connections, power button, and all that, I guess is...
And another important part up here, you have the fan controllers.
Oh.
So the fans are routed through fan controllers up top here, and you can switch between three positions, low, medium, and high for either fan.
Okay. I mean, what is your opinion on kind of like the quality of the design when you're building in it? Did it feel high quality? Did it feel kind of like thin and wobbly? What was the kind of build structure like? It's
very strong. There's thick metal, and it's a very sturdy, heavy case. It's easy to build in, and it's certainly high quality feel.
So if the insides are almost pretty much identical to what you get in the RV05, what are the kind of key differentiating points between a user that maybe considers the FT05 versus the RV05?
I think primarily, besides just the appearance of the case being a lot more businesslike and understated with this one, you have the added noise dampening.
Okay.
So there is a reduction in noise. They have the exact same thermal profile, the same stack cooling design. But this one, because of the added insulation, especially if you're getting the one without the side window, you will see, several
so that's an option
lower
as well, is you can get it without that side window.
Right.
Then you'll have insulation on that side of the case.
And it costs about $10 less to get it without the side window.
Now, I know you've been here, so you haven't used the exact same sound testing equipment, but you expect, like, this is definitely a quieter system than the RV05 was?
Side by side easily, this one was noticeably quieter to me, and I'll have exact numbers in the review, but that if it's up on top of a desk especially, you're going to hear a lot less. There's still sound coming out at the same rate from the top of the case. There's just no insulation up there. There really can't be. But it is a noticeably quieter case than the RV05.
Any noticeable differences in temperature and performance that way?
Not significant. It was only a couple of degrees higher.
On the FT05.
Which was expected because of the insulation.
Okay.
Holding a little bit more heat inside the case.
And now the all-important question, what about pricing? There is a pricing difference between the FT05 and the Raven 05.
Right. The Raven, very aggressively priced at about $129. You'll find it on Amazon. This one you'll find on Amazon with the side window for about $185. Without is about $175.
Okay. So you're still talking about a $40 to $60 kind of price difference between these two. I mean, so are you really just paying for that kind of sound dampening application here in this, I guess? Because do you think, well, let me ask you another way. Do you think that the build quality and structure is warranted by the price difference, I guess? You
certainly do see a higher, I wouldn't say higher quality, but maybe more attention to the fit and finish on this. There's more use of metal. The RV05 is a very attractive looking case, but it is largely plastic on the exterior.
Okay.
There's metal side panels, and there's plastic trim, plastic front panel. So you're getting higher quality materials. This certainly seems, at least superficially, stronger to me. It's a heavier case.
It was heavy putting it up here, so.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Sebastian will have the full review up at PCPer.com as you watch this. We'll have a link to it in the description here below. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll talk to you later. See ya.
See ya.